Here's something almost no one dares to say out loud about being everyone's favorite person. It's utterly exhausting. On the surface, it sounds lovely. People adore you, praise you, think you're kind and easy to be around. But the truth is, it drains you to the core. Every morning begins not with coffee, but with a mental checklist. How not to upset anyone, how to make everyone happy, how to stay pleasant and agreeable no matter what. You become the director of other people's emotions, constantly trying to make sure everyone feels comfortable, even when all you want is to escape into silence for a while. Sound familiar? We've turned people-pleasing into a refined art form. We can spend 15 minutes crafting the perfect text, polishing every word so no one misinterprets it. Yet we can't spend 2 minutes asking ourselves, what do I actually want right now? What do I truly feel like doing? We'd become human chameleons, endlessly changing colors, except unlike real chameleons, we've forgotten what our true color ever was. Here's an uncomfortable but liberating truth. Wanting to please everyone has nothing to do with genuinely making people happy. Think about the people you truly respect, not just like, but deeply admire. Are they the ones who always agree with you, who tiptoe around your feelings, who never rock the boat? Or are they the ones who challenge you, tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable, and remain authentic no matter what? Probably the latter. And that's exactly why you trust them. The biggest trap of people-pleasing is that we confuse comfort with love. We convince ourselves that if we keep everyone comfortable and avoid any tension, it means we care. But in reality, we're robbing others of the chance to see who we truly are. We're so busy trying to be the perfect version of ourselves for everyone else that we forget being authentic isn't just easier, it's braver and infinitely more valuable. Chances are, even right now, there are a few situations where you say yes while your whole body screams no. You smile politely when you're seething inside. You nod along just to avoid awkwardness. We were taught that kindness means never making anyone uncomfortable, but that's false kindness. Real kindness requires honesty, even when it makes things a little messy. And then one day it hits you. You've been living someone else's Pinterest board instead of your own life. You've been curating an aesthetic that fits rather than asking yourself if it's something you even want. You've spent years perfecting an image instead of nurturing your own truth. Chapter 1. The Paradox of Selflessness and Selfishness. Now pause for a moment. What if the most selfless people in the world are actually those who admit they're living for themselves? It sounds paradoxical, even rebellious, but that's exactly where the secret lies. Think about the people who've made the biggest impact on your life. Were they constantly trying to please you, seeking your approval? Or were they simply being real, grounded in their truth, acting from their inner center? The teacher who changed how you see the world, the friend who told you a hard truth no one else dared to say, the leader who inspired you not by words but by example. Those people didn't live for validation, and that's why their influence felt so genuine. Here's the real paradox. When you live truthfully, aligned with who you are, you end up serving others more powerfully than ever before. It's like a flashlight. If its batteries are drained, it flickers weakly, trying to shine. But when it's charged, the light pours out effortlessly, illuminating everything around it. People-pleasing is actually a subtle form of control. We accommodate others because we want them to like us, stay with us, approve of us, validate us. But authentic living says, I'm going to be genuinely myself, honor my truth, and trust that the right people will appreciate that. It's terrifying because it requires actual courage instead of just being agreeable. The most generous thing you can do for the world is show others what authentic living looks like. When you stop performing and start being real, you give everyone around you permission to do the same. Think about someone you deeply respect. They probably challenge you more than they accommodate you. We live in a culture that celebrates nice people, but we're actually starving for real people. We'll defend our favorite pizza toppings more passionately than our core values, then wonder why our lives feel empty. Chapter 2. The Cup Overflow Principle. You know how on airplanes they tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others? There's profound wisdom in that instruction that applies to every single area of life. Here's the cup overflow principle that will change how you think about generosity. Fill your own cup first, so it naturally overflows onto the people you love. When your cup is empty, you have nothing authentic to give. You end up giving from resentment, obligation, manipulation, or desperation, rather than genuine abundance. It's funny how we'll charge our phones religiously every single night, but run ourselves on 2% emotional battery and wonder why we're irritable with everyone. Living authentically means paying close attention to what fills your cup versus what drains it. Then making conscious, intentional choices about where you invest your precious energy. This isn't about becoming selfish or self-centered. It's about becoming sustainably generous. When you take care of yourself first, you show up as the best possible version of yourself for others. You give from overflow rather than emptiness, from choice rather than compulsion, from love rather than fear. The people who truly love you actually want your cup to be full. They don't want you sacrificing yourself for their temporary comfort. They want you thriving so you can contribute your unique gifts to the world. And if someone in your life gets upset when you start taking care of yourself, that tells you everything you need to know about the relationship. Notice how much better you treat others when you've had enough sleep, eaten well, and done something you genuinely enjoy. Self-care isn't selfish. It's responsible preparation for showing up authentically in relationships. We know more about maintaining our cars than maintaining our emotional and spiritual well-being. Chapter 3. The Magnetic Energy Effect. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem effortlessly attractive? Not necessarily physically attractive, but there's something magnetic about their presence that draws you in. Here's their secret that nobody talks about. They've stopped placing the responsibility for their happiness onto other people. When you live for yourself authentically, you create this incredible attractive energy because you're not needy, demanding, manipulative, or desperately seeking validation. You're just genuinely yourself, completely comfortable in your own skin, and that confidence is absolutely magnetic. People pleasers actually repel others because there's an underlying transaction happening that everyone can sense. I'll make you comfortable if you'll approve of me. I'll agree with you if you'll like me. I'll sacrifice my preferences if you'll stay with me. It feels manipulative because it is manipulative. Authentic people are attractive because they're not trying to get anything from you. They're complete in themselves, sharing from abundance rather than seeking to fill an internal void. It's like the difference between someone desperately trying to sell you something you don't want versus someone genuinely excited to share something valuable they've discovered. When you stop needing others to complete you, validate you, or make you happy, you become someone others naturally want to be around. You're no longer an emotional drain. You're an emotional contribution. Think about the people you most enjoy spending time with. They probably aren't constantly seeking your approval. Authentic confidence is attractive. Desperate people-pleasing is exhausting. We're attracted to people who seem comfortable in their own skin, yet we spend most of our time trying to climb out of ours. Chapter 4. Permission to be yourself. Here's the permission slip you've been waiting for. You have complete permission to be yourself, not the version others want, but the real, beautifully imperfect you. Most of us wait for someone else to give permission for preferences, opinions, boundaries. But here's what nobody tells you. You're the only one who can grant that permission. Living authentically means recognizing you have authority over your own life. You decide what you like, value, how you spend time. It's terrifying because it means responsibility, but incredibly freeing. We'll research restaurants for 20 minutes, but pick LifePass because they sound nice to others. What if you made decisions based on what's true for you? This doesn't mean becoming inconsiderate. It means becoming genuinely considerate, considering your authentic self as part of the equation. When you honor your true self, you can show up authentically instead of performing a role. You probably ask permission where you're the only authority that matters. Chapter 5. The Individual Mission Discovery. Each person is given a mission uniquely different from all others. Your specific combination of experiences and perspectives creates contribution only you can make. But if you're busy being who others want, your unique mission gets buried under expectations and people-pleasing. It's like having a rare instrument that could create beautiful music, but keeping it locked away because you're afraid others might not like the sound. Your authenticity isn't just about you. It's what you're here to contribute. The world needs your specific way of seeing, thinking, creating. When you live inauthentically, you deprive everyone of what only you can offer. Think about people who've influenced you most. They weren't trying to be like everyone else. They were courageously being themselves, and that authenticity made their impact possible. Living for yourself means honoring the unique mission you're here to fulfill, following your passion, using your strengths for best return on time and energy, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. There are problems only you can solve with your specific experiences and insights. Chapter 6. Boundaries as Bridges. Let's talk about the most misunderstood relationship concept, boundaries. Most think boundaries are walls, but healthy boundaries are bridges, creating deeper connection. When you clearly communicate limits and needs, you eliminate relationship guesswork. Instead of people wondering what you're thinking or feeling, they know where they stand. Boundaries create space where authentic relationship can flourish. When you say no to what doesn't align, your yes becomes meaningful and trustworthy. We'll set clear boundaries with Wi-Fi passwords, but struggle with emotional energy. Learning to say, that doesn't work for me, isn't mean, it's honest communication, serving everyone involved. The most loving thing you can do is be clear about who you are and what you need. This allows others to love the real you instead of a performance, and models healthy self-respect. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're the foundation of mutual respect. Your healthiest relationships probably have the clearest boundaries. Chapter 7. The Choice-Responsibility Revolution. Here's a truth that will liberate or make you uncomfortable. Almost everything that happens to us is a result of our choices. Even as victims of circumstance, we're choosing how to respond, what to focus on, what meaning to create. This isn't about blame, it's about power. When you accept complete responsibility, you reclaim power to change your life. No more waiting for others to make you happy or create the life you want. We'll spend more time choosing Netflix shows than choosing how to respond to life's challenges. But every moment you are making choices about what to think, believe, focus on, and how to act. Viktor Frankl discovered this in concentration camps. Even in extreme circumstances, we retain power to choose our response. When you embrace this responsibility, you become unstoppable, because your happiness no longer depends on external conditions. Look at any area you want to change. You'll find choices you can make right now. Chapter 8. Emotional Energy Management. Think of yourself as CEO of your emotional energy. Like a good CEO audits resource investment, track what drains versus energizes your authentic self. Most people are emotionally bankrupt because they invest energy in depleting rather than restoring activities. We obsess over phone battery but ignore emotional battery, then wonder why we're exhausted. Here's your audit. What activities and people leave you feeling more like yourself versus less like yourself? What restores authenticity versus makes you feel like you're performing? Living for yourself means being strategic about emotional resource investment. When you feel drained, ask, what do I fear right now? What can I do for more certainty?
Usually, emotional drain comes from trying to control things outside your influence. Your body constantly gives information about what aligns with your authentic self. Chapter 9: Authentic Communication Mastery. Here's the skill that transforms every relationship: speaking your truth with love and respect. Most think they must choose between honest and kind, but authentic communication is both. Communication effectiveness is measured by feedback you get, not intentions. If people consistently misunderstand or get defensive, the communication needs adjustment. Authentic communication starts with honesty about what you're thinking and feeling, then finding ways to express truth that serve the relationship rather than just venting emotions. Here's the framework: know your truth, speak it with care, let others have their reaction without trying to control it. Your most satisfying conversations probably involve someone speaking honestly about what mattered to them.
Chapter 10: The Practice of Authenticity in the Present Moment. This is where authenticity stops being just a pretty word from self-help books and becomes something real, a way of living. Living for yourself isn't about escaping into illusions or isolation. It's about staying connected to your true self every single day, every single moment, right here and now. It's not an abstract concept, it's an ongoing inner practice, attentive, alive, and brutally honest. Most people go through life on autopilot, making choices dictated by habit and old conditioning, rather than by genuine feeling. Mindfulness changes that. It creates a tiny pause between what happens and how you respond, and within that pause lies freedom. That's where your power to choose emerges, to act automatically or to act authentically. Try doing an inner connection check a few times a day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What do I truly need? Am I acting from habit or from my real self? These brief moments of self-reflection build up over time, slowly piecing together a life that feels real, a life that feels like you. We check our phones dozens of times a day, but when was the last time you checked in with yourself? What if you paid as much attention to your inner world as you do to your notifications? True authenticity is the ability to catch yourself when you start to people please or drift away from your truth. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is awareness. Every time you notice yourself being inauthentic, you're standing at the doorway of a new choice, a chance to do something truer, something more alive. Creative self-expression is one of the most powerful tools for reconnecting with yourself. Music, writing, painting, dancing, photography. None of these are luxuries. They're forms of emotional regulation, ways to return to balance and remember who you are beneath the noise. Pause for a second and ask, what am I truly feeling right now? What's really on my mind? That exact moment of awareness, that's authenticity. And when you decide to live for yourself, something remarkable happens. Your honesty creates a ripple effect. People around you begin to sense it, and it silently gives them permission to be real too. You become an example, even without meaning to. Your unique mission, your talents, your purpose, they can only unfold through authenticity. The work meant for you, the people you're destined to meet, the contribution only you can make, none of it can happen if you're too busy trying to be someone else. When you fill your own cup first, you finally have something genuine to give. When you honor your truth, you show others what courage really looks like. Growth always comes with discomfort, and honesty always requires bravery. But that discomfort is temporary. The regret of not living authentically can last a lifetime. You're not here by accident. Your combination of experiences, perspectives, and quirks is your superpower. That's your value. So stop waiting for permission. Stop seeking approval. Stop chasing perfection. Start being real.
Start speaking and acting from your truth. Start living the life that's actually yours. The world doesn't need your polished version. It needs the real you, alive, honest, imperfect, and gloriously human. Your authenticity is your gift to the world. And by the way, if this message resonated with you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Let that be a reminder that being yourself is absolutely worth it.